So this video is going to be on delusion. Um, I Today I was able to kind of get a glimpse of what it's like to be outside of my mind and kind of be in a frequency where I'm not tapped into my higher self. I think it's important to get these glimpses of negativity because it gives you perspective in terms of how far along you have come, and also get an understanding of where people are, the people who critique you, and and the people who hate on you, or the people who just don't understand you. So basically, I was just in my call. Not in my call. I was just chilling, and I was gonna start the day, start working on my computer, and then this thought came in, and it was just a flow of thoughts of critiques. Like, how do you think you're gonna be able to do it? How like what makes you think you can start a business? What makes you think that you got the sauce, that you're actually good at what you do? um what if you're just delusional and you're moving to people towards this idea of the soul and it's not real, and then people are coming in and asking you for help, and you just can't, and you're just taking people to down this trip of just delusion. um and I heard that voice and I was like, damn, you know what, you're right. Like, I could be wrong. I could just be guiding people to this lie. And then I was also thinking about, thinking my friends, like, kind of almost seeing how they see me, where I sound almost crazy or delusional. Where I say I'm gonna do these big things, and what makes me think I can do that? Because I have friends that do that, that I've had conversations, and they've kind of questioned, like, do you think, what makes you think you can actually do that, etc. And so I had those thoughts. I was like, damn, like, they could be right. Like, it's completely understandable to see what they're saying. And so this is kind of a reflection on, I guess, first off, what is that negative voice? I think it's the shadow. I think it's also the personality. It's the ego. I think it's a very rational side of me. And that and a good thing is that I woke up and I questioned, am I delusional? Am I going too far? Am I actually just all over the place and I'm not progressing at all? And it wasn't a question that expecting an answer. It was just a question that would just sit in my mind, and it'll answer itself, right? And a few hours later, that's when I had this negative stream of thoughts come in. And honestly, I didn't even take it as negative. I actually was kind of grateful for that thought process, because it was kind of like my answer, which was, hey, so this is what it looks like to not be tuned in to the frequency that you're tuned into. It gave me some perspective and it allowed me to see, okay, so you might be delusional, but would you rather live like this? Would you prefer to live like this, where you're just chilling and constantly critiquing yourself and constantly like not allowing yourself to dream? And the answer was no. So I think it's good because it gives me a grounded perspective. Like, I'm including this perspective into the actions that I make. Like, I reflect on these things. I reflect on whether what I'm doing is the right thing, whether what I'm doing is makes sense. I have a family, so does this make sense for my child, for my family, like financially? Like, can like I think I even told myself, like, damn, like, poor wife of yours, like, she has to deal with you, like, she has to like, she believes in you, and like, she's betting so much on you. um and so and I was like, damn, you know what, you're right, like, she is, and that makes me even more grateful that she believes in my vision, that she trusts me. So it's almost like counterintuitive, where you get this negative stream of thoughts, and it allows you to see the perspective that lies outside of the normal day-to-day perspective that you usually have, or at least that I usually have. I pride myself in having a lot of ambition, and not so much ambition but also vision, aspiration, and just almost like, now I've entered this state where I'm just having fun, just doing things almost randomly, spontaneously. And that isn't a state of creation that I'm very used to doing. Especially years ago, I was very logical. So being able to do things spontaneously, being able to do things without a specific reason and doing them, is, aside from the fact that it just seems like the impulse that my intuition is driving me towards, being able to do that for me has become kind of like my default state, and is becoming my default state moving forward. So moving forward, I'm not really guided by outcomes. I'm more so guided by incomes, and not incomes in sort of money. In the terms of money, I'm talking about incomes in terms of what is coming from inside of me. And from inside of me, I see just a pure desire to grow and to expand and to express myself and to be myself and to free myself and to be colorful and to be expressive and to be real and to continue to expand connections and so I look at myself and I understand that in the way that I act, I like to look at my life and I like to look at the things that are growing and I like to emphasize the things that are growing faster and that are bringing more fulfillment to my life. So it's almost like there's a branch, and in that branch there's different aspects of life or different opportunities that come in, and I've trained myself to move from this place of spontaneity, and from this place of spontaneity I almost like get lucky and arrive on to synchronicities and opportunities that further expand me and my goals and desires and dreams. So it's almost been so kind of, I guess we could say, it kind of started with my wife. She was the first big risk that I took, marrying somebody, proposing to somebody after 2 weeks of meeting her. And then from then on, I've been, battling this or honing in on this skill of my intuition. And so really, I think what happened was there was almost like a disconnect from my intuition to my intellect, and the intellect at its pure form is very critical. It is very analytical, and thankfully, I'm glad that I was able to develop my intellect because that has allowed me to ground myself a lot, and that has allowed me to ground a lot of these spiritual teachings down to a form that can be very practical and applicable to people's lives at a day-to-day level. And so yeah, I was reflecting on that and I realized like there is strength in negativity. There's a lot of strength in negativity. But you need to know how to use it and you need to be detached from it, because when I was observing it, I was observing the stream of thoughts and I was careful to not hone in or to really get too reactive about these thoughts. In fact, I was very grateful and I wanted to give those thoughts space. I wanted to give that shadow space. And in doing so, I realized that negativity is not bad. Negativity is negativity. And in the strength that it gives me, it allows me to see the depth of what I'm doing and also the implications of what I'm doing, and more importantly also the consequences. So, you know, if I'm challenging myself, I think the only way you can get to delusion is to not understand exactly what you are buying into. What are you buying into? For me, I'm buying into this thought of infinite potential, of creatorship, creativity, of law of attraction, that you can manifest anything, that you are the creator of your reality. Those are the thoughts that I'm buying into. Now, if I only bought into those things and completely disregarded the negative thoughts or the critical thoughts around them, being sort of like, you sound delusional. How can you think that you can create reality? You are not God. You are just a human being, and there's influences that are much greater than you. And so, for you to think that you can create a whole new world, well, that is just almost, I guess the word would be psychopathic. Um, Psycho? I don't know. Um, and I have seen various traits of psychosis, um, and maybe I have dived into those areas in my life, in my consciousness, but I know that as I am able to critique this and observe it, then that gives me kind of a very good reflection or understanding that I still have that in mind. I still have the intellect in mind. I still have the negative thoughts in mind. Although I am choosing the positive, I am choosing to move forward. I can always stop and I can always look at the other side of things. And if I choose to move towards the positive after looking at the negative, then I believe that I'm truly moving from a balanced place, from a balanced state of mind. And so then that leads me to think that I am walking the middle way. And at the end of the day, um, I'm really striving to release all of the desires that are not worthy, or all of the expectations that are not relevant to the growth or to the manifestation of the vision. For example, my relationship to money has changed dramatically over the past year, especially during the past 3 months. Right now, it's almost like I don't care for money, and money doesn't motivate what I do. I do things because I find them fun. So that is really what I'm trying to reduce, or that is what I am actually reducing. I want to only do things that I find fun. And I want to be only in places that I find that where I can grow, because to me growth is fun. And even yesterday I was actually looking into writing a book, actually writing two books. One will be on the flow state and one will be on um polymathery. So polymathy, 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 either one, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Multiple skills, multiple interests. You are not a specialist but a generalist type thing. So I realized that there is an incessant drive within me, and it is almost like it is so like strong. It's almost obsessive. The desire to basically, I was at work and I was so frustrated because it wasn't that busy, and I was just circling around doing nothing basically. So I would just take breaks and go to the bathroom and just basically write out my script or write out my outline for my book. And I got this desire also that was saying, "You should not be here. You should not be here. You should not be here." And I was just like, "Oh my god, I cannot deal with this." And some of the thoughts that would come up would be like, "Bro, you're so deep into meditation. Can't you handle this?" Blah blah. Like kind of beating myself up. But I was like, "Nah, I think this is more important than that. I think this has more to do with that. Like I know I can handle my thoughts, but sometimes you have to know when to pay attention to those thoughts, and those thoughts are saying something." And so I think those thoughts in reality, I mean, the picture that kept coming into my mind was go home and make more content, um, learn more lessons on how to animate. Just go home, and that's what I just kept saying and saying and saying. And so who knows? Maybe if I had left, it wouldn't have been a problem. I don't think they really needed me at work. It seems like, but I wasn't gonna just walk out. But it gave me this thing, which was like, man, am I just do I want to live like this? Do I want to live just constantly being like, yo, go do this, go do that. You shouldn't be here. I don't. And I think I've reached a place where I am very grateful for where I'm at. And I don't think I'm coming from a place where I'm not grateful. I think I'm coming from a place where I think I've outgrown where I'm at now. So um so then that just pushes me to like think about a few things, which is um what's the next step? What's the next step? And so right now I'm waiting on a promotion for my job, but they're taking their sweet time on that. And so my ex manager, I've been collaborating with him, and I think I'm gonna move to go over and work with him. And who knows? There can be many opportunities that to co-create there. Like if I'm working with him, I can help him with social media. We can create a podcast together. I can help him grow his following so that just I'm coaching him right now so he can get into social media and really develop himself as a creator. So so I mean, yeah, like what is it that I'm bringing forth? What is it that I'm bringing forth? You have to constantly question that. And so that's why it helps to have that negative perspective too, because um with the negative perspective, it allows you to question what are you bringing forth, but it allows you to question it or to bring it forth from a place that has come through the intellectual, through the analytical mind. And if you can go through that and you can transcend that while also including it, then you can really create something with a solid framework. So this is just a reflection on negativity. Don't know what I want to title this video. I think it's gonna be something along the lines of um, how I deal with negative thoughts, negative self criticism. Um, we'll see. But I appreciate you watching this video. I'm gonna record another few right now just because I have so many ideas here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna see you in the next one. All right, peace.